Right, well here's a totally new one for me, talking to the camera as opposed to just catching the fish and talking to everybody else. I get asked loads of questions about the gear I have, what I use, so here we go. Into the man cave, a tatty old shed. Right. Start off with leads, most of it. I use 7 ounce, 10 ounce and 12 ounce weights. Aquazoom style, I like round slimline weights that drop rather quickly but don't spin in the tide, because all my boat fishing's done with shads. I do very little fishing with bait, and I find if this sinkers spin you get loads of tangles on your shag line, so the better they are. Everything's got swivels on as well, so it takes away a lot of the twist. You'll find out that shortly. We'll give it a while so you'll get this lead melted, and as soon as we can do that we'll crack on making some sinkers. Right, where do we start? Gloves. It's just initial start. The sinker molds are on there getting warmed. Absolutely useless if they're not warm. So I'll stick a wire in, but I don't think I'll do much good because it won't be that hot. I'll stick one in anyway. Because all I'm doing this time is getting the mould ready, which is heating it up. Initial start off. First thing normally isn't ever any good, so here we go. This ladle is roughly 12 ounces, so it's great. There we go. No, that's not sinker. It's not nipped together properly because it's leaking out the bottom. I'm catching that on the video. Stick a bit more in. But anyway, it makes no difference because all that's doing is heating the mould up ready for later on. Right. First off, wires. I'm lucky enough to get these, and you can see them, tattoo needles. These are brand new ones, which is great. But when you can find some that uses the old-fashioned ones. You know, used ones are just as good. You just got to be wary of the tips, obviously, because the tips, the needles, have gone through skin, they've had blood on them, so they're going to be contaminated. So you can see there, I'll show them that way as well. You can see them there. They're just soldered on. So what I want to do with these, just dip them in the hot lead, a couple of seconds, and they've dropped off. See, it's all off. That's it. And with these I can get two wires out of one of these tattoo needles. I haven't cleaned the tips of these. I've already cleaned the tips of these two, so I'll show you what to do with them. Got a little jig here. Put the wire in. Bend it round. Turn it over. And back again. Too far. That's all I'm going to do with it. It doesn't have to be a perfect ring like that one. Found the idea on YouTube. and you turn it over and you come back a bit. You just set it up the way you want it. It's not good enough for me. And all I do is I just tweak them with the pliers to get it right. But anyway, that's that. And then once they're done, that one, pliers, there they are. Fold it. And cut it in half. Hey presto, got 2 rings. As I say, I don't have to be perfect on this, because at the end of the day these are going to be sacrificial leads and I want the rings to be able to straighten out. You get snagged, it straightens out, you lose a lead, you don't lose your fish or your shad or main line, stuff like that. So that's that. Let's get this out of here. Not too bad. Now normally the lead, if the mould wasn't hot enough, the lead would be all wrinkles and bumps and dents, but that's okay, so that's smashing. Right, so hopefully what I can do now is go ahead with there's a proper glove. Right, getting to the end of the run. Just run out of lead for the last sink. I'll turn that bit so you can see it. You can see the pan or not. There we go, a bit more. Right, done quite a few. I've got a bag full of 10 ounces over there already done. For the lads on Seize the Days. These are mine. I've done quite a few. I thought I'd do 15. I'm getting 14 done there. That was the 15th one and there just wasn't enough lead for it. So, you know, that ingot on the pot. Give it a bit of gas and see how fast I can get it melted. So it'll be a bit solid in the middle, but once you give it a bit stir, it starts to go molten pretty quick. Give the bottom of the pan a bit scrub as well, and it'll bring all the slag to the top. If you can catch that on the camera, you can see all the slag coming up on the top. Right. I'll torch off to cool down for 5 minutes. Fingers. Right, bit of a spill there, but because my hands are starting to ache. Well, that's the works anyway. Off goes the gas. Let the pan cool down. That's what's done for now. It's the last one to cool down. We take it out. And that's the pile done. Ready for to get rigged up with the swivels and that. Which some people might say it's a bit of a faff, but it makes a big difference. Definitely makes a big difference. Swivels, they're not expensive, and 9 out of 10 if you lose your sinker you'll get your swivel back anyway, so they're expendable, but very rare that you lose them. Last one to turn out. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. Good back in the pot. Gets left out to cool. All this slag will go back in the pot. And that's that. Right. Right, we're back in the house. All the gear's on made, sinkers are made. Got the gear ready to make up. Two sort of swivels. I've got size 3, size 1. Size 3 for the shads, and size 1s are for the sinkers. Right, here we go. All I do with the sinkers, simply, because these are soft stainless steel wires, they bend very, very easily. Can you see that? I'll turn that around so you can see that a bit better. Right, these bend very easily, just like that. Little twist on it. Pop the swivel on, twist it back, and nip it up. I try to nip as best I can because every now and again, because the braid's so thin, it has a chance to pop up in that little edge there, but it normally doesn't. So there you go, that's the sinker done. That's the way I would do the sinker, with a swivel on. And even though these sinkers are round, they don't spin that much in the tide, but with a swivel they're not going to cause any twist or anything like that on the lines. Right, so that's how I do them. I'll do another one. Quick, put the swivel on, put it back, nip it up, and it's done. There we go. So that's how I do the sinkers. Right, the shads. I love these. These are my most favourite shad of all. These Devil's Own. Look like a little mackerel, I think. I always go for red tail. I love the red tail. Whatever shad I use, it's got to have a red tail. I think I'm kinky about red tails. So I put those ones back in there because they're so easy to get mixed up. Right, I'm using size 3 for these. Right, and now line. I've got a spool of line. This line is, which one's this? £45. That's what I'm using. I use £80 braid on my main line, so this is perfect. Now I'll put that over there. Hopefully you can see the line. The light's big enough. Right, for the shad, just a bog standard basic blood knot. So through the loop, wrap it round for 5 times, go through the loop that you've made, and then back through the loop that you've made the second time. Give it a lick, good lick, pull it up, let it pull up. And then nip off the tag as close as possible, well, not too close, you don't want sliding coming loose. So that's that. Now then, for the other end, I just guess on this side. I generally use my table. See, along the table here. About that from that end. Make a loop. And I believe this is called the Paloma knot. You put the loop through your eye of whatever you're tying on. You do an ordinary overhand knot, like that. And the loop you've got left, you put everything through that loop. Pull it up, and you can see it there getting pulled up. And then you pull it tight. Don't really need to lick that one because it's such a small little knot. And then nip that one off with it as not super close, but as close as possible, so there's no tag end. Now I have found that that is the best knot for that end. I have used the blood knot and I find the snag up. So that knot there and that knot there are the two best knots I've found for the shads. Now then, there's a swivel. I got my swivel. See, this was my main line swivel. I would have the sinker on the main line, the swivel of the shad on there, clip it up, and there, yeah, that's what you would see. And the way it sits, it's always slightly off, so that can spin, and that can spin, and I very rarely get any snags. It tangles up with that. That length of line, which is roughly 2 foot, I think, we'll measure it. I've got a tape measure. Whoops. Yeah, well, there's 32 inches, and that's normally where I take it to. So if I measure it, there you go, from there to there, 32 inches. So it's roughly, that's the length that I have on the shad. Because I like to fish on the bottom, I don't believe in these big long 6 foot lengths and stuff like that. I like it tight on the bottom. I like to dunk the bottom with my sinker and just have enough to whip that up to above, you know, well, is what the red rod can lift. So hopefully it'll be twice that distance, twice that, up and up again, and then dropping down. And that's what I fish with. Right, that's everything done. Baiting up. I have found I always used to bait it up this way, through the tail and out through the head, like that way on. Always did that because the head's soft, doesn't hold up much, but the tail's got plenty of strength in it. What I have found lately though, fishing over the haddock grounds and that, I'm getting lots and lots of bait coming back where the head's gone but the tail's still there. Finding that I think the fish go for the head more than they go for the tail. Maybe it's because there's more nutrition, there's guts and everything in the head. So what I have been doing the other way around, I've been hooking them through the head, and you can see how I do it, through the head and then out through the tail, that way on, and like that. I can see it like that. And I've been getting a lot more hookups with fish that way than I have the other way, if I can get it off. The way I used to do it was through the back like that and out that way. That's the way I used to do it. Because I found what was happening was the head, when it was coming back in, the head was gone but the tail was still there. So presumably the fish prefer to eat that bit for some reason. So now, other way around, the head goes on the hook and I'm getting far more fish, definitely far more fish. Might just be a fluke, but there again, it's always worth trying things. So that's how I bait them up. So hopefully, if you have a try yourself, how do you do it yourself that way? If you like the way I fish, you see my other videos, seen the fish that we do catch. Yeah, fair enough, the rest of the lads, a lot of them fish with baits, flies, mackerel feathers, stuff like that, and they get lots of fish. But I do get results, and I don't lose half as much gear. I very rarely get snagged on the bottom because I'm not dragging the bottom, I'm literally donking the bottom all the time. And because it's light gear, that's all I've got in the tight. I'm more or less straight up and down, so even on a big drift, when it's really fast, because I've got braid in just a single bit of a small lure like this, I'm not getting dragged about. So the lads on bait fishing, parachutes, they're off 45 degrees to the boat. I'm still fishing straight up and down. Works far better for me. I shad all the time, unless the water's like pea soup, baby poo or whatever. I'll shad as long as there's a little bit of can be seen, and of course the bait adds to it, gives a bit of trail, scent trail. I'll shad all the time for me, right through the winter as well. So anyway, if you're going to try it, you know how to do it now, and if you do, best of luck, tight lines. I hope you catch loads and loads of fish.